expedite removals of Tren de Aragua and other savage gangs.
If you needed further evidence of how weak and impotent MAGA really is, and to that I mean, the First Lady, this story will illustrate their third-grade logic and reveal that there's still some adults left in the room. All right, federal judges are finally pushing back on Trump, and he's losing whatever is left of his mind. So here's the meat. Story number one, a U.S. district judge has ordered Trump to stop deporting migrants under the 1798 Alien Enemies Act. This act was designed specifically for wartime. It actually says it in the law. And we're not at war, regardless of how MAGA lies about the peaceful, undocumented Americans who do more for our country than any of these pencil dicks will ever do. And undocumented pay $90 billion annually to Medicaid and Social Security that they never use.
How much do you think undocumented immigrants pay into the tax system every year?
Zero?
Nothing.
No, probably nothing.
Undocumented, I would guess zero. And why would they pay anything?
My guess is nothing.
Since they're undocumented, $0.
$100.
$100. 2022, they paid $96 billion into Social Security and Medicare, just undocumented.
I really don't know what to say about it.
2022, they paid $96 billion into the Social Security Medicare system.
It seems ludicrous that there would be that kind of money coming in.
You are 100% right. Given everything we've heard, it sounds absurd. It sounds insane, just like an alternate reality, right? It runs counter to the entire narrative that we've been getting the past several years. The undocumented immigrants, they paid into the system. They pay it into the system.
Okay.
So through ITN number.
It's undocumented immigrants?
Undocumented immigrants. They pay Medicare, they pay Social Security. They don't get Social Security.
Right, but they pay into it.
They pay into
I
it.
wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
So these migrants, they have rights. And Trump is using his platform of hate and misinformation to solidify his monkey base.
But Trump is the effing president of the United States who protects 300 million plus people. He is a leader who does not have the luxury of opening up his little books to read, oh my God, maybe he didn't do it the right way.
And of course, Trump, after the judge's decision, had a crying, lay down in the supermarket, bang your head on the floor shit fit. The radical left lunatic of a judge, a troublemaker, an agitator who was sadly appointed by Barack Hussein Obama, was not elected president. He didn't win the popular vote by a lot. He didn't win all 7 swing states. He didn't win 2,750 to 525 counties. He didn't win anything. I won for many reasons in an overwhelming mandate. A lie. But fighting illegal immigration may have been the number one reason for this historic victory. I'm just doing what the voters wanted me to do. This judge, like many of the crooked judges I'm forced to appear before, should be impeached. We don't want vicious, violent, and demented criminals, many of them deranged murderers in our country. Make America great again. Okay, now this story has 2 important and unique angles. The first is that Chief Justice John Roberts stood up to Trump and smacked him down.
Snap out of it.
Trump's call for impeachment, A, doesn't have the votes, and B, as Roberts points out, isn't how the judicial system works. Roberts wrote, quote, "For more than 2 centuries, it's been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreements concerning judicial decisions. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose." Now, under normal circumstances, that makes perfect sense. If you don't like the ruling, appeal. That's how everyone else does it. But of course, these are not normal circumstances. So MAGA snowflakes erupted in the nursery school style protest of crying and asking for their Trumpian reach around. Here's a MAGA turd attacking Roberts. For more than 2 centuries, the question of whether to impeach judges has been left solely to the elected representatives of the American people. John Roberts has no say in the matter, regardless of how much he wishes otherwise. Our Constitution gives John Roberts no power whatsoever when it comes to judicial impeachment, and it certainly doesn't give him the power to reject congressional impeachment when and if it comes. There are more tweets by these whining little bitches, but at the end of the day, it's this simple. Roberts didn't say you couldn't do it. He just said what you're trying to do goes against the idea of separation of powers, and then he pointed out the nation's history. And then finally, a little dig at Tiny Fingers and his sad parade of tuck-it-back tough boys.
Defer to our chief.
Oh, wait, yes.
Thank you. Our chief legal analyst, Greg Gutfeld.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm glad you asked me that question. Look, John Roberts says it's not appropriate. It's not an appropriate response when you disagree with the judge. And it is really a surprise to me that Trump doesn't follow the appropriate protocol when there are rapists and murderers invading our country.
A jury today found former President Donald Trump liable for sexual abuse.
But hey, good look, you miserable cockwaffles. You need the majority in the House and 67 votes in the Senate to impeach a federal judge. And that's not happening. And now story number 2. A federal judge ruled today that Elon Musk and Doge violated the Constitution by moving to shut down U.S. aid. The district judge ruled in favor of former USAID employees and ordered Musk and Doge to reinstate payments and all access to email to USAID employees. According to the judge, it would be up to Congress to decide whether, when, and how to close USAID, and Doge's actions deprive the Congress of their constitutional authority.
And all I heard were the same platitudes that government employees are lazy, government employees are not wanting to come into work. The president's advisor yesterday, Alina Habba, even said that government employees don't deserve to, they're not fit to keep their jobs at this moment. Hearing that day after day, it's offensive. I served my country honorably for 20 years, and then I decided to continue civil service and work for the VA. And my performance evaluations have been exemplary. I shared with your staff about a week after I was fired, I received a performance bonus for exceeding all the standards that the agency had for me. And
you go.
I got the same letter that every civil servant got from, Doge, which said, your performance is poor and we don't want to keep you with your agency. So I understand cuts need to be made. I understand the budget is larger than it needs to be, and there will have to be some hard choices. But I don't hear a lot of talk about the sacrifice. The VA lost 1,400 employees on the first day and 1,000 a week later, and now they're talking about 80,000 more. Well, services are going to have to be cut. Veterans are going to lose some of their health care benefits.
Dude, this is really important. These dim-witted Republicans are cutting off funding for the World Health Organization, the CDC, and NIH. While the U.S. is experiencing not only the biggest measles outbreak in half a century and a possible pandemic sequel with the bird flu, but a tuberculosis scare that without U.S. assistance will spread around the world. And that means us too. And by the way, tuberculosis is the world's top infectious killer.
You may think tuberculosis is an antique disease, something that happened somewhere else in the past or in a distant place. Not so. Tuberculosis is the most deadly infectious disease in the world. Globally, more than 1 million people a year still die from TB. Cases in the United States are rising. The CDC reports cases of the deadly lung infection have increased more than 15% in 2023 compared to the year before.
So now we're finally beginning to see judges, and as Roberts pointed out, not Obama, Bush, or Trump judges, but federal judges rule on the law. And of course, this perplexes Trump because he might possibly be the weakest mind to ever occupy a suit, much less the Oval Office. But that stupid is contagious.
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
And is spread across the country, and it represents a real danger and a challenge to the weak-kneed snowflakes in the Republican Party. And here's the challenge. What happens if Trump refuses to follow the orders of the courts? What if Trump calls in the military and invokes martial law? What if he suspends habeas corpus and starts jailing people without cause or trials? What if he decides to disband the entire judicial system? Will the Republican Party stop him? Can they?
There will come a day when Donald Trump is gone, but your dishonor will remain.
And the last question is, how the f*** do we get to the sorry state where a fat, petulant grifter could collapse a nation of 350 million people? I don't know the answer, but I know this. We better figure it out, and quick.
Bloated and fat and disgusting?
Goddamn right. I like that. Oh, I like that.
Crazy!
Disgusting.
Go f yourself.
You're a nasty person.
I'm as mad as hell. I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes!
Tick-tock!
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.